Hello and welcome back to Friday Minis. Now, screens these days are getting higher and higher resolution. If our font sizes were to stay the same, well, that could pose a problem. You can see this even with a 1080p display. That is of course a display that is 1920 pixels across and 1080 vertically. What you'll find is that, well, some of the UI, right, some of the buttons, some of the menus are starting to appear kinda tiny. So of course the question is why? Why does this happen? How does this actually correlate with the increasing resolution? And what can we do to actually remedy this problem? Well, here's the deal. Firstly, the issue is not really because of the resolution, but because of density. Our screens are more or less staying the same size, but we're packing more and more pixels into the same area, which is great, which means we actually see nicer, higher resolution images. However, if anything has a fixed width or height, that is going to map to a smaller physical area. To understand this better, let's use a more extreme example. We have two screens of the same size, right? One is 3x3, the other is 7x7. A line that is 3 pixels tall will fill the entire screen on the left. But if we were to take the same 3 pixels and put it into our other screen, it takes up less than half of the area. That is the exact same problem we will experience for a higher resolution display. Because we are packing more dots into the same area, the same height of text will now appear smaller. And you can see this happen even with 1080p screens, right? Much less if we were working with, say, a 4K display. Usually 4K displays are a little bit larger, but ultimately the density of pixels has still increased, and as a result, well, your text is going to get microscopic. And this is where scaling comes into play. On Windows, you have an option called scaling. It is a system-wide option that basically, well, zooms in on all text. Programs written with scaling in mind will scale perfectly. All the text just becomes bigger, but well, it's still aware of the high resolution of the screen, which is why you get nice, crisp text. Some programs, however, are not designed to actually handle the scaling factor, and as a result, what happens is the text and whatever you see on screen may start to appear a little bit blurry. The reason why this happens is, instead of actually increasing the font size of everything and sort of moving everything to the right place to accommodate for the higher resolution, your program simply renders, well, things at its original size and then stretches it out like stretching out an image. And you know how stretching out an image makes it blurry, right? So it's the exact same idea that is happening here. Windows users have the option of going into the compatibility settings to actually change up the scaling options for that program itself. And what that means is you can set a system-wide scaling, but you can create exceptions for programs that don't support this. So yeah, that is scaling, and as it turns out, well, it's not something that is very well supported or very much talked about yet. But hopefully this will become less and less of a problem as our screens become higher and higher resolution. That's all there is for this episode of Friday Minis. I hope you gained some insight today. But until next time, you're watching 0612 TV with NERDfirst.net. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my work and are feeling generous, you can shoot me a one-time donation on PayPal or sign up for a recurring one on Patreon. Of course, you can simply like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. For more videos, links to my channel and a related playlist are on screen. Thank you for your support.